now. What about this for a story? If you've enjoyed the cricket, and once again, Michael Clarke and the boys last night won the one-dayer. It was a close finish. If you watched it last night, I think England needed about 8 runs off 6 balls, and there were a couple of wickets that fell in the last over. But it's been a great summer of cricket. So to the cricket tragics out there, or maybe the wives or the girlfriends or the partners of cricket tragics, if you think your bloke is a cricket tragic or your girl is a cricket tragic, in the case of my next-door neighbour Lillian, wait till you hear about Rob Moody. You see, Rob Moody loves watching cricket. So much so that over the last 30 years, he has recorded virtually every cricket game ever broadcast in Australia. This is a hobby which has left him with a collection of 25,000 DVDs. 25,000. He set up a YouTube channel where he uploads unusual, historic, and sometimes hilarious outtakes from the cricket coverage over the years, because sometimes things will happen on the TV and they pass by and you can't get them back again, but he's got them all recorded. Rob Moody joins us on the line. Rob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben.
Why?
I think it's part insanity, clearly, and partly obsession with cricket.
This started 30 years ago.
Well, yeah. 30 years ago, I was a little boy, and I'm sure lots of Aussie boys in the mid-'80s were playing with VCRs, the big top-loading VCRs with the curly remotes, taping various things, and I just happened to start recording cricket.
Okay, so you record a game of cricket, but then most people would go, all right, well, I've got that, that's fine. What, you just decided the next day to record day 2, and then day 3, and day 4, and day 5?
Yeah, I figured out pretty early on that I wasn't like most people.
Did anyone say, hey, Rob, you've lost the plot, what are you doing?
Yes, many times. Mostly, it happens daily.
So at first it was your family. You've now got have you got a wife or a girlfriend?
Yes, I've got a wife and 2 kids.
What did your wife, or when she was your girlfriend, what did she make of this when you, because I mean, this takes up at times it took up how much space in your house?
A lot of space, especially when we first met in the late 90s. It was all on videotapes, so it was a lot more videotapes than DVDs back then.
So what, an entire room?
It was probably 2 rooms.
2 rooms filled with VCR tapes, VHS tapes?
Yeah, it's a bit nuts.
Have you transferred all of those VHSs onto DVD?
I've transferred all but about 400 or 500 tapes.
Do you have any time to talk to your wife or children?
I send her an email every now and again to ask what's for dinner. No.
Oh, no.
No, it doesn't take up that much time anymore. So thankfully, I've done all the hard work when I was younger and didn't have kids, so now I can relax.
Did you ever wonder, did you think, is there going to be some interest outside of myself and my room and my home here? Is anyone else going to be interested in this stuff one day? Did you ever worry about that, or that wasn't a concern?
Not really a concern. You just, like most kids back in the day, you're at school when the test matches are on, and back in those days, lots of one-day games, and so I'd tape them and watch them when I got home from school and everything, and then after a couple of weeks, you realise you've built up some tapes and you tape over some matches, but then I stopped doing that because I would regret losing them. Can't get them back.
Do you ever think, darling, you know what we should watch tonight? Let's have a look at that one-dayer from January 1981, Australia v England. Or let's sit down and watch, the second one-dayer from 1987 against the West Indies. I mean, we'll get a glass of wine and we'll sit back and watch Viv Richards and Curtly Ambrose and the rest of the boys in action.
Well, that would be great, but I doubt that would ever happen.
No.
But I live in hope.
So you then started a YouTube channel, And now you have people who will contact you to say, hey, listen, you don't have the moment that Richie Benno said this, or you don't happen to have on tape the incident that happened 25 years ago when such and such did X, Y, Z, and you can dig all that stuff out.
Yep. So there's, even in one season of cricket, there's heaps of moments that, as you said, go by so quickly and they get talked about for a day. But over the course of 30 years, there's certainly heaps, and only, a few are really famous. But there's certainly plenty that a lot of people remember. And thanks to YouTube and people uploading old clips, they can look them up or request them from people like me who have them. And
you can, in fact, put together a theme. So, for example, Jason Gillespie was after footage of David Gower, the Pommy batsman, getting repeatedly caught out on his leg side because the Aussies used to set up a trap and Gower would always get caught out on the leg side. Yeah. So in the space of half an hour, you can put together a montage of all of the time. So it's almost, you are a bit of a cricketer's enemy in a way, because by piecing all of these incidents together, you can expose a bit of a theme here where they've got a weakness. Yeah,
sure. I mean, there's plenty of instances like that occurred. The Gower one is, was fairly famous at the time. He had a history of getting caught at leg slip or just by the keeper on the leg side. And there's heaps of those sort of things that happen. Like, I'm sure in 20 years to come, people will talk about Phil Hughes getting caught in the slips of Chris Martin's bowling. But
how do people search for the YouTube channel?
How they search for it? I'm sure if they just typed in cricket into YouTube, it would come up.
You'll come up. Well, mate, I love my cricket, but you take it to a whole new level. I can't believe you're still married, and it's an interesting obsession to have. But if anyone out there loves their cricket and there's a certain incident that they really want to look up, get onto YouTube and look for Rob Moody. Rob, good to talk to you.
No problem.
Thank you very much. He's got 50,000 followers these days on his YouTube channel, and I'm sure there would have been 50,000 people over the years telling him he's nuts.